I'm Jared Strickland with UT Extension here in Hardin County. And I'm the Ag and Natural Resources Agent, and we're here at our local garden center at Lowe's, and we're going to just look over some different varieties of plants and flowers that may interest you as a gardener or a beginning gardener. And then we're going to kind of make it a series, as Kaylee's going to do some crafts with the kids, with flowers, and then also Sandra's got something unique. She's going to talk about some flowers that are edible. And speaking of that, we'll start out with the daylily, and like I said, it is an edible flower. And one thing I like about daylilies is they are perennials. That means that once you plant them, they come back year after year, and they're really low maintenance. They're real drought tolerant, so they handle the Tennessee weather really well. One interesting fact about a daylily is it's actually not a true lily, even though it's called a lily. The flowers will last about a day, so this one here bloomed this morning, and by tomorrow it'll be gone, and probably this next one will be bloomed by tomorrow morning. And like I said, they're really drought tolerant and a good all-around hardy plant you can put for your landscape. So what we're looking at now are marigolds, and these in particular are French marigolds. So they're a dwarf variety, so they're going to be a lot smaller than your typical marigolds. They come in a variety of colors, but it's mainly orange, yellow, and red. And they are an annual. And one good tip to keep them blooming all summer long is to deadhead them as the blooms die off. They handle the drought really well, so they don't need as much water, and they're really easy to grow. And another good thing about them is they tend to keep pests away from your other plants. They put off a defense mechanism, so they don't have any pests really, and they're good for have in your garden. So now we're looking at some roses, a favorite of mine, and these here are petite knockout roses. You can get roses in all sorts of varieties and sizes, and with roses, they need to be in well-drained soil. They don't like a lot of water, and they do really well in our climate. And also, they're just really pretty. Another thing to keep them blooming would be as the roses die off, to deadhead them as well to keep them blooming. Some things to look at on roses is they do have problems with some pests. Japanese beetles is one that they really like those. Mites do tend to get in there as well, and that can cause rose rosette. And what that is when it'll cause the plant to grow in a deformed shape, and it doesn't look very, very appealing. Powdery mildew is one that can tend to get into roses as well. And also, been mentioned more in a later video by Sandra that the petals are edible as well. So, but anyway, this is one of my favorites, and we'll check out some more. So now we're looking at some petunias, and these are in the nightshade family, and they'll tend to run a little bit, and they do real well in a hanging basket, or you can plant them in a garden type area. They need full sunlight, and they need to be it needs to be well drained for them as well. So overwatering can be a problem, and they are annuals. But one thing about them is seeding them is really difficult, so it's typically better just to go ahead and buy them as a plant. These are vincas here. As you can see, they come in a whole variety of different colors. This is one I recommend for folks that are just getting in the garden or just beginning. They want to garden for flowers. They're really hardy. They're easy to maintain. They grow well. They handle the drought tolerance in Tennessee real well, and also they just make a great ground cover. And I highly recommend them for those that are just getting started, they're just really, really pretty. They're one of my favorites because they stay alive.
Hi, I'm Sandra Thorne from the UT Extension office in Hardin County. We just heard from Jared about how simple it can be to grow our own beautiful flowers at home. But did you know you can actually eat some of those? Today, I'm going to share with you some short, simple recipes that will brighten up your garden party throughout the summer. The part of the plant that you can eat will be dependent upon the species. For some, you can eat the entire thing, the green and the petals. For others, you just want to stick to the flowers. For the best results and for it to be the most fresh, you'll want to pick those the day that you're going to work on your recipe. I always use kitchen scissors because they work great. And depending upon the flour, if I need it to be just the little flour part, I'll cut that, because there's no need to get the leaves and the other parts if I'm not going to be using those, and they can continue to grow throughout the summer. Once I get all these, this is like the marigolds, if I need 5 or 6, I'm going to submerge that into cold running water to make sure all the debris and the little tiny insects are gone. I've already washed these flower petals, as you see here. I've put this on a paper towel. There's still going to be water at the top, so you want to get your other paper towel and then lightly pat that dry. You don't want to do it too hard because you can actually bruise these petals just like fruit. Once it's dry, you're all set to start your recipe. The first recipe we're going to be doing will have rose petals. There are a lot of rose recipes out there, but today we're going to be making ice cream. So I have went out and already got my roses washed and dried the petals. Since I had a variety, I decided to use all the colors just to be a little more festive. So I have light pink, dark pink, yellow, and white. Now if you just have one color rose bush, this will still make a very pretty dish. So once those are dry, you're going to set them aside, and then we'll work on the ice cream. I've already made mine, and so with the ice cream, you choose any recipe that you like. So pick your favorite and use it. At this point, if you would like the ice cream to freeze a pastel color, like yellow or pink, you would add a couple of drops of food color and mix that in. I'm going to keep mine white because I like how the rose petals really show through with that color. So once you have it to your desired color, you're going to start mixing in your rose petals. Now I've already put a few in, as you can see. I would say about 3 flowers worth. You can decide if you'd want to have the whole leaf, whole petal like this, or break it into and make smaller. And that's what I did. I did smaller pieces because I'll show you what I'm going to do once I pour it in. So once that's mixed well, you want to get a smaller size, shallow dish, kind of like a loaf dish, and then pour your mixture in. I know this will be hard to see on the video, but all those flowers mix in and they kind of float to the top. Now what I like to do is then get whole petals and let those float, and as it freezes, that'll be on the top, and it makes a beautiful presentation for a garden party, showers, or other fun summer events. Next, I'm going to show you a recipe that's sure to make you the talk of the barbecue: lavender cookies. You can use cookies as simple as the pre-made refrigerated kind that you need to bake, or you can do it from scratch. Just make sure to use shortbread or sugar cookie recipes. So for me, I always use the pre-made. And as you know, when you get those out of the package, they're usually small, round discs. That's no problem because we're about to do something with those anyway. So go ahead and prepare your dish as directed, and then you're going to get a piece of lavender. If you'll notice on your lavender, they're small little purple flowers. You'll want to pull those off, and I already have some here pulled away. Once those are pulled away, you're going to put it onto your dough and then knead it in so that it gets all throughout your dough. Then you're going to form a ball and place it on your baking sheet. Next, you'll get another piece of lavender. Make sure the little stalk is cut off. Place it on there and gently push down in the center of the cookie. So this is what it will look like before it bakes. And as you know, the cookie's going to expand. And it makes a really pretty cookie because you'll see all the little purple flowers within and then that lavender on top. If you're making your cookie dough from scratch, make it as directed, and then the final steps, you'll put those small purple flowers in, make your ball, place it on the pan, push in your little lavender flower, and cook as directed. You can also use some of your summer flowers to make a fragrant, light tasting tea. Today I'm going to show you hibiscus tea, and just last week I made clover tea, and I'll tell you how to do that as well. With hibiscus tea, you'll want to get a bloom of the hibiscus and place it in a cup or a glass. I use mason jars during the summer, so I thought I'd use this to show you what it would look like. So place your bloom inside. If you're using clover, you'll want to get a half a cup of the white flower of the clover, taking off the green stem, and place it in the jar. Get boiling water and pour to the top. We'll let this steep about 15 minutes and it's all ready to go. Now this is going to have a slightly sweet taste, just as the clover will, but the hibiscus will be more fragrant. But if you do require more of a sweet taste, be sure to use maple syrup or honey in the place of sugar. Now I'm going to show you how to turn your ordinary drink into something fabulous this summer by using your flowers and plants from your garden. All you need is an ice tray and then your petals, leaves, and stems. So today I'll show you what all I'm using. I have the white rose petal. You just place it in one of the compartments. Here's a dark pink, light pink rose. I have some beautiful red daisy petals. And if you have more than one color daisy, like yellow, orange, to add those all together would be pretty as well. I have lemongrass that I'll use, and when anything is too long, all you have to do is break it and make it fit into the square. You don't necessarily want it to come out of the ice as it freezes. So, and then I have 3 variations of mint. This leaf I just cut in half because it's large. And I have the purple leaf. It's small enough that I can put the whole thing in. And then here's another variation. And then again, I can use the lavender. Now, any edible flower you could put in here, like the marigold, would look beautiful in there, but just keep in mind of the flavor that it might make. It's more of a stronger taste that's better in garden salads. So once you have those as you like, you just take your water and fill to the top. And then all you do is place it in the freezer, and it makes such a beautiful presentation with your drinks. The last thing I'd like to show you is how to turn your plain green salad into something that looks expensive and elegant at no cost, because you're going to be using your flowers from the garden. Now, I've already placed my green salad on my plate, and I've washed and dried my flowers. So at this point, the sky's the limit. You can be as artistic and creative as you would like. So I think I'm going to be using the red daisy and my hibiscus. I have some purple mint that I'm going to place. Marigolds are always pretty in a green salad because it pops those yellows and oranges. If you don't have any marigolds and are needing something yellow, you can always use dandelions. They're safe to eat, as well as their leaves to put into the green salad. Now, their leaves are a little bit stronger than typical lettuce leaves, but they're still edible. So you would just wash those as you did everything else and place them on the plate. I'm going to use my lavender, not because it will taste as great with the salad, but it's going to look pretty on the edge. And then I have my lemongrass, and since it's long, I'm going to place it to where it will just kind of cascade off the plate. So just be as creative as you want to be. And then at the last, I'm going to just sprinkle a few of my little rose petals. So you went from a plain salad to something that's beautiful and artistic.
Hello everyone, my name is Kaylee Barker and I'm here to talk to you today about crafts that you can do with flowers. You can find flowers in a garden at your house possibly, or wildflowers would work. Any kind of beautiful flowers that you see in nature, this could work for. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, the first craft that we're going to do is one that's really easy. You can do it with toddlers all the way up to grown-up children. It can be a good reason for you to get outside and check out different wildflowers out there, or check out your garden. You're gonna need a variety if you want to have a pretty colorful bouquet. So you also need markers, scissors, a piece of cardboard, and again, your flowers. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw with a marker a vase on your cardboard. It'll look something like this, or any kind of vase that you want to use. And your kids can decorate with colorful markers and make it really pretty if they want to. You're also going to want to draw some stems for your flowers. Okay? Just like this. Then you're going to take your scissors, make sure the adult is the one doing this part, and you're going to poke holes at the end of your stems where you'll put the real live flowers through. Okay, like that. And finally, and you can poke more holes than I did. I just poked a few just for the example. If you find lots of flowers, you may want lots of stems drawn on there so you can show them off. So I'm going to poke my flowers through the holes. And now we've got a nice bouquet. So this is a really fun activity. Like I said, you can do it with toddlers. If you do it with older kids, you can discuss the different types of flowers. So that could be a learning opportunity for y'all in that sense. And I hope you enjoy. Our next craft is going to be a bookmark. So what you're going to need to do is grab some cardstock. They have it at Walmart, or if you have some at your house, it's just like a thicker paper, and makes a great bookmark. So you'll want to cut your cardstock in the shape of whatever bookmark size you would like. And you're also going to need a hole punch and some pressed flowers. So when you pick out your pretty flowers that you want to use for this project, you're going to want to press them between two heavy books that are really flat, or two other flat objects that will really smash the flowers down. So you'll use those pressed flowers. I'm going to grab mine. And I grabbed some leaves too because I really like the green up against the flowers. So I'm going to place the pressed flowers on the bookmark. Just arrange them however you want to. Make it however you like. Okay. And then you're going to need some contact paper, and you can also find this at Walmart in the office supply section. And what you're going to do is you're going to peel back the top layer and lay your bookmark inside. You're going to close the contact paper over the bookmark and really smush it down so it sticks. Okay. Then you'll need your scissors. Hang on just a second. Forgot to grab my scissors. And you're going to cut the bookmark out. Okay, so now it should look about like this. You should have the contact paper over your flowers so that your pretty flowers are showing through. Then you'll take the hole punch, and this is optional, you could just leave it at this, but if you want to, you could take the hole punch and punch a hole at the top. And I've got this pretty jute cord, or you could use yarn or any kind of craft material, and put it through the hole. And tie a little knot. And I thought it was really pretty if I kind of just frayed mine. And you could put multiple layers of this jute cord or anything else on there, and it will be really cool. So you can fray it all together. And it kind of adds some character to your bookmark, a little bit of a texture. So use any kind of flowers you want to, anything. Press them, put them on the bookmark, and you could even give these as gifts if you wanted. So I hope you enjoy.